This is your WGBW Daily News Roundup for the Talk of Green Bay, 97.9 FM and 1590 AM.
Civic Media News. I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. Next year's race for Wisconsin Supreme Court appears to be more wide open now that Justice Ann Walsh Bradley is retiring. Conservative Judge Brad Schimmel is the only candidate so far, but Liberals Susan Crawford and Chris Taylor are now said to be thinking about it. The winner of next year's race will likely decide the court's ideological majority. Clean water advocates say they're happy with the EPA's new legally enforceable benchmark for PFAS in drinking water. Lynn Thorpe of Clean Water Action says it's not enough to clean up PFAS already in the water.
We need to take equally aggressive action to keep the chemicals from getting into the water and the environment in the first place.
Wisconsin adopted its own PFAS standards for drinking water last year, but the new federal standard is stricter. Wisconsin teachers are leaving the profession, and Wisconsin at an alarming rate, according to a new Department of Public Instruction report that says 4 of every 10 new teachers are gone after 6 years. Teacher pay in real dollars in Wisconsin has dropped 20% in 12 years.
Many teachers have taken on second jobs, like driving for Uber or working in restaurants.
WEAC Teachers Union President Peggy Wirtz-Olson also points to heavy workloads and hostile political rhetoric. A judge is denying a Waukesha area woman's request to be released from a mental health facility. Morgan Geyser was 12 when she and a friend stabbed another girl a decade ago. They said they thought they were appeasing a fictional character called Slender Man. The judge ruled yesterday that Geyser is still a threat to herself and others. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Alloway Village President Jim Rafter announces his candidacy for the 30th State Senate District. Rafter, a Republican, says he's been a proactive advocate for the community and has developed effective partnerships with leaders from both political parties. The 30th State Senate District includes the city of De Pere, most of Green Bay, the villages of Alloway, Ashwaubenon, and Bellevue, and the towns of Rockland and Ledgeview. Severe Weather Awareness Week wraps up today. Brown County Director of Emergency Management Daniel Kane says 3 things are needed to be prepared for severe weather: a plan for what to do and where to go, have an emergency kit on hand, and most importantly, be informed on what the weather terms mean.
So a watch is the conditions are present for severe weather to impact you. A warning, and that means get ready to take action, right? A warning means take action now.
Kane says planning is important for all scenarios, even situations when driving.
You're in the path of tornado, it's coming at you. If there's no low-lying areas around you, pull over to the side of the road, duck and cover inside your vehicle. If there's a low-lying ditch and area, it's recommended you can get in that low-lying area outside your vehicle and lay low in that low-lying space. Never, ever, ever go under an overpass.
Kane says overpasses do not provide any protection against the winds and destructive force of a tornado. Monday is the deadline to file your individual income tax return. The Wisconsin Department of Revenue reminds everyone to file their tax returns and pay any amounts due before midnight April 15th to avoid late filing fees and interest charges. The DOR has a new electronic filing system called WisTax that's free for qualifying taxpayers. UW Green Bay and St. Norbert College have announced a resource-sharing agreement. The agreement will allow students in some programs to study at one institution or the other. Institution officials say the partnership is a win for the students and will allow the universities to collaborate and build on the strengths each brings to the communities they serve. The program partnerships are expected to begin with the fall semester. Green Bay Area Public School District is eliminating 3 central administration positions and adding 2 others. The district will eliminate the executive directors of teaching and learning, leadership, and school services. The school board recently voted to add director positions focusing on diversity and inclusion and teacher recruitment. In addition to these positions, the school board will search for a new superintendent later this year following the resignation of Claude Tiller. People will be getting more sun now that spring is here and summer's on the way. Those warm rays can be harmful, however. According to the CDC, skin cancer is the most common form of cancer. Kewaunee County Public Health is hosting a free skin cancer screening at Prevea Clinic in Luxembourg Saturday to get more people to get skin exams. You don't have to be a Kewaunee County resident to participate in the screening, but you do need to register with the Kewaunee County Public Health Department. And that's what you need to know. I'm Lisa Hale, WGBW News.
The Brewers head to Baltimore. I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Brewers open a weekend series against the Orioles at Camden Yards. Yesterday's game with the Reds got rained out in Cincinnati. Rescheduled as a doubleheader in August. NBA, the Bucks in Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder tonight. The Bucks coming off wins over the Celtics and Orlando Magic. NFL, the Packers on the tailgate tour, headed to Brazil this fall to take on the Eagles for the opener. I asked Kenny Clark,
you know anybody that's been to Brazil?
I went there a couple years ago. Actually,
yeah.
I was in Brazil. I was in Rio, and I had an amazing time, man. There's so many Packer fans out there, so many football fans out there. I went during the Super Bowl and watched the Super Bowl at a bar, and the energy there was amazing. I can only imagine, what the experience we're going to have when we out there actually playing a football game in Brazil. The fans are going to be amazing.
So LaFleur's coming to you for tips on how to get around Brazil.
yeah. You're going to have to come to me for the tips.
That's Packers defensive lineman Kenny Clark. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Top Gun Maverick's Glenn Powell will head up the cast of The Running Man. Variety reports he will be playing the same role Arnold Schwarzenegger played in the 1987 cult action film. Both films are based on a Stephen King novel for which King used the pseudonym Richard Bachman. Powell also starred in Anyone But You opposite Sydney Sweeney. The film was a surprise hit that this reporter's daughter and her friends went to 4 times. Money well spent. The Running Man will be directed by Edgar Wright, who also directed Hot Fuzz and Baby Driver. Reality star Kourtney Kardashian revealed she drinks breast milk. She posted on her social media that she was feeling sick, so she, quote, pounded a glass of breast milk before bed. Not judging, but it was never really clarified as to whose breast milk it was. This is very different from my nighttime posts where I show myself slamming a root beer float before bed. Less sexy, but darn tasty. O.J. Simpson passed away on Wednesday. The former football player and star of the Naked Gun films died of cancer at the age of 76. Simpson was accused of killing his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman in 1994, but was found not guilty in what some have deemed the trial of the century. After being acquitted, Simpson vowed to catch the real killers. There is no word at this time how far along his investigation was. Barbie star Margot Robbie is in talks to star in a film based on the board game Monopoly. Yes, Hollywood is officially out of ideas. Robbie's company, Lucky Chip, will produce the film with Lionsgate and Hasbro. No details on the plot have been divulged yet, probably because there can't possibly be one. But since Monopoly has sold over 500 million games since 1935, I'm guessing they will shoehorn a plot in there somehow. Personally, I'm more excited to see Sydney Sweeney in the new Boggle movie. There's a serious buzz growing around Gladiator 2. Director Ridley Scott excited theater owners, giving them a peek in Las Vegas at Caesars Palace during CinemaCon. Russell Crowe won a Best Actor Oscar in the first film, but his character was killed off. Stepping into the role is Paul Mescal. The film also stars Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal, and Connie Nielsen. Gladiator 2 is expected to hit theaters on November 22nd of this year. Speaking of Ridley Scott, despite his age of 86, his directorial dance card is full. Scott also announced at CinemaCon that he will direct a Bee Gees biopic. In addition to Gladiator 2, he directed last year's Napoleon. Collider.com reports that Barry Gibb, the only living brother of the Bee Gees, will executive produce the film, which is currently in the development stage. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, every night between 7 and 9 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Scattered clouds this morning, becoming sunny later this afternoon. It'll be breezy with a high of 54 today. The wind northwest 15 to 25, gusting to 35. Tonight, clear 36. Tomorrow, sunny 66. A few showers or thunder showers tomorrow night. Then on Sunday, sunny with a high of 70. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Right now, it's 48.
That's your WGBW Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WGBW.FM.